Hello book lovers and welcome back to my channel. This is my 9th year of making big cozy best of the year roundups, and I've decided to change things up a little. Instead of making a super long video with everything in it, I'm making some shorter videos on different themes that I'll release across the next few weeks. Today's video reviews beautiful books for children and the young at heart, from stunning picture books and interactive pop-ups to epic middle grade adventures and other gorgeous special editions for the collectors in your life. As usual, details and links to everything I mention will be included in the description box below. Let's start with a section on picture books and art-driven stories. I'm going to open with one of my top picks for this year, 5 Wolves by Peter McCarty. This curious but beautiful book follows 5 mysterious wolves as they roam across different landscapes in search of wonders to draw and paint. The illustrations are detailed and moody, and although at first glance it looks like a picture book, there is more than enough depth in the thinking behind it that invites musings on the philosophy and nature of art that will entertain adult readers as well. Stephen King's Hansel and Gretel is a lovely new picture book version of the classic grim tale, using previously unpublished drawings by Maurice Sendak, paired with King's retelling. It stays close to the original story: 2 children abandoned in the woods, a terrifying witch, a house made of sweets. The artwork was originally produced by Sendak for a 1990s operatic production of Hansel and Gretel. It fills the pages with dense, oppressive forests and cramped interiors. His witch is grotesque but disturbingly human, and there's a constant sense that the children are tiny but fiercely determined figures in a world shaped by adult hunger, neglect and greed. You can definitely see echoes of Where the Wild Things Are. In this gorgeous picture book by Miriam Darman and Nicolas Dijar, we meet a woman known as the Owl Witch, living alone on a secluded island and longing for companionship. One night a traveller arrives with an invitation from her devilish master, and the story becomes a dark, magical bargain and a battle of wits to escape his control. Julia Sarda's illustrations showcase stormy skies and magical forests in deep jewel tones. The octopus spread is my favourite. The concept behind this oversized volume of classic fairy tales is that you literally step inside the story. The art combines photographic, magical, misty woodland scenes with illustrated characters that have been layered in on top. It includes 8 classic tales: Hansel and Gretel, Cinderella, the Frog Prince, the Snow Queen, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty and the Ugly Duckling. I'm always on the lookout for a beautiful new illustrated edition of Alice in Wonderland, and this fun one, illustrated by Joe Todd-Stanton, fits the bill. Joe's best known for his Mythical Collection series, and his art style is graphic, expressive, bold and colourful, dynamic enough to catch the attention of children raised on animation and graphic novels. There's lots of visual momentum going on here, with Alice moving through space, tumbling, shrinking, striding, peering, surrounded by ribbons. Alice has had so many illustrators that it's a challenge to stand out. But this edition cleverly uses creative angles and vivid landscapes in a way I haven't seen done before. The edition has over 200 illustrations, including a fold-out of the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. I usually show English editions here, but I'm making an exception for this stunning French Alice edition illustrated by Isabelle Simler that was recommended to me by Semperluxus on Instagram. I'll link her account below because she finds the most amazing foreign language editions. Isabelle reimagines Carol's classic as a lush, breathing ecosystem, leaning hard into butterflies, beetles, birds and other creatures that throng throughout the pages. You'll find tiny insects tucked into the illustrations that reward you for taking the time to pore over the detailed images. Jump ahead a couple of minutes now if you're an arachnophobe, because spider expert Jan Beccaloni introduces all sorts of different web types in the secret world of spiderwebs. From classic orbs to strange tent webs, trapdoor webs, and even webs that sit on the surface of flowing water. And many of the beautiful web illustrations sparkle with foiled detail. Being from Australia, I thought I was pretty chill about most spiders, but even I unlocked a new fear reading about the Amazon spider army that hunts as a pack. Sticking with non-fiction, Life, The Wild Wonders of Biodiversity is the third book in Jennifer Smith's stunning oversized Wild Wonders series. This volume explores fun facts about the world's biodiversity. Why are flamingos pink? Why do we have midges to thank for our favourite chocolate bar? And it's packed with animal art and informative diagrams printed with luminous ink. And my third non-fiction entry here is Oceanopedia, a quite comprehensive illustrated encyclopedia of the world's oceans and marine creatures, covering a wide range of animals from the open sea to coral reefs. Again, the artwork is bright and lush, which really adds to the reading experience. Haruki Murakami's Super Frog Saves Tokyo is something a little bit different. The premise of this illustrated short story is delightfully strange. An ordinary man discovers a giant frog in his apartment who explains that together they need to save Tokyo from upcoming disaster. The design and illustration were led by Vintage's creative director Suzanne Dean in collaboration with Dutch illustrator Seb Agresti. The illustrations appear with clean, simplified shapes, strong outlines, and a vivid, almost poster-like colour palette influenced by Japanese design and comics. The Japanese text on the illustrations is matched by colour highlighting in the English text, so you don't lose out in the translation. It's funny, surreal, and surprisingly heartfelt. And for something really fun, we've got a couple of picture books that give Agatha Christie's Poirot and Miss Marple the full Mr. Men and Little Miss treatment. Mischief on the Nile is loosely inspired by Poirot's mystery Death on the Nile, but turned into a child-friendly mystery starring other well-known Mr. Men characters. Similarly, Muddle at the Vicarage uses the same trick based on Murder at the Vicarage with Miss Marple. These are perfectly fun reads for little ones as intended, but I think they're also a cute gift for older Agatha Christie fans. Next, let's look at the really hands-on books with envelopes, letters and magical pop-ups to enjoy. Letters from Wonderland is a gorgeous interactive take on Alice's adventures in Wonderland. It riffs off the classic characters, the White Rabbit, the Cheshire Cat, the Queen of Hearts, but adds physical letters to open, pockets to peek in, a fold-out map and even a little game board. It's designed so children can literally open Alice's mail and feel like they're part of the story. It's pitched for the younger crowd, but I can promise you older Alice fans will happily fiddle with all the bits as well. In a similar vein, we have Mr. Tickle's Post, where the Happyland postman delivers lots of mail to Mr. Tickle for readers to pull out from the envelopes. This one's a bit of a simpler offering than the Alice book, but it also includes removable letters, postcards and pictures of his friends. So finally in this section, I'd like to share a special pop-up Carousel edition of Claris Holiday Heist by Megan Hess. Claris is the chicest mouse in Paris who follows her dreams of becoming a fashion designer. The story involves a dash through the city to stop a cat burglar, and at the end we have 6 pop-up scenes that you can spin into a decorative 360-degree holiday carousel that ties off with a ribbon. There are more pop-up books and paper engineering books to enjoy from this year, but I've pulled them out into separate videos on the Moomins and the best pop-up books of the year, which I'll link to below. Now let's take a dive into some more chunky middle grade and young adult adventures. There were so many great books released this year, and lots of them had special features. I do actually run a special edition tracker on my website, so please take a look at that to get a feel for all the amazing books that are out there. I'm going to focus today on a few picks I'm confident will be loved by most readers. Alice with a Y by Anna James offers a charming return to Wonderland. Set in 1919 England, Alice, with a Y, goes to live with her grandmother, who happens to be the original Alice. Young Alice isn't sure what to believe about her grandmother's stories until a mysterious party invitation sends her tumbling into Wonderland herself. Only Wonderland is also at war, and Alice has to set things right with the help of the Hatter, the Cheshire Cat and a sailor fox. It's witty, whimsical, and the modern illustrations still retain a hint of Tenniel. There are a few different sprayed edge editions kicking around. This one I'm showing here is from Goldsborough, but there was also an indie edition and one from Waterstone too as well. Graciela in the Abyss by Meg Medina is about a sea ghost who helps newly awakened spirits. On land, 12-year-old Jorge discovers an enchanted harpoon, and Graciela and Jorge have to work together to stop the upcoming catastrophe. It's full of folklore-flavoured world building, but I confess I first picked it up because of the delightfully atmospheric illustrations by twin illustrators Anna and Elena Balbuso. Which Way to the Future is the last book in Cressida Cowell's Which Way to Anywhere series. She's also the author of the popular How to Train Your Dragon series. It's full of her usual mix of scribbly maps and handwritten notes and jokes and high-stakes adventure. The edition I'm showing here with the sprayed page edges is from Waterstones. The Skandar series also finished this year with Skandar and the Spirit War, although a new prequel has already been released. If you haven't met these books before, the unicorns are fierce, dangerous battle creatures rather than sparkly ponies, and the series is consistently entertaining, fast-paced middle grade read. Both Barnes & Noble and Waterstones release special editions of this title. Greenwild is an eco-fantasy series with lots of world building and fantastical creatures to entertain readers. As you might guess from the title Forest in the Sky, this entry sees the characters travelling to a mysterious forest in the sky. There are black and white illustrations by Elisa Paganelli that help younger readers picture the skyships and magical flora as they go on this adventure. And still speaking of series, it felt like a long wait, but this year finally brought the fourth book in the wondrous world of the Nevermore series. This instalment has a murder mystery and dragons and other fun stuff. Waterstones has a few copies left of their special edition with purple spray edges if you're quick. Heartbroken by Serena Valentino is the 12th entry in the long-running Villains series that retells the stories of famous Disney villains. Heartbroken looks at the life of the bloodthirsty Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. I love these compact hardback editions that reveal a hidden wicked face under the dust jacket. And to finish off this section, we have a standalone, Run Away With Me, by Brian Selznick, who's also the author of The Invention of Hugo Cabret. This one is firmly in the teen camp. It's a hybrid novel written in his signature style, using both text and images to tell the story of two 16-year-old boys who meet in Rome one summer and fall in love. The narrative tracks their relationship and how that summer changes the rest of their lives, with cinematic black and white image sequences threaded throughout the prose. A beautiful choice for older teens who enjoy this graphic novel-adjacent style of storytelling. And my final section of today is looking at special gift edition re-releases. First up, we've got Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. Most people know this title from the movie, but it's also part of a fantastic trilogy of novels that spirit the reader off to faraway lands with evil witches and dashing wizards. To be honest, I do think the Folio Society editions are actually the best available if you've got the money, but this year both US and UK publishers released beautiful, more affordable collector's editions, which feature decorative page edges and hidden covers. I'm showing the US edition here, but I'll add a couple of screen grabs from the UK edition at the end. The Bad Beginning, the first series of Unfortunate Events book, is back in a shiny new edition. This one's got a soft touch binding, watchful eyes sprayed on the page edges, designed end papers, and some bonus content too. There's a new set of Wings of Fire special edition paperbacks, with the first 5 books getting deluxe sprayed edge treatments. The books also include new sketches, a Q&A with the author, and this first one's got an alternate opening chapter. And if you buy the box set, it comes with a bonus poster too. Although best known as the author of the James Bond novels, it's not as well known that Ian Fleming was also the inventor of the famous magical flying car Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. He wrote the story for his son Caspar while recuperating from a major heart attack. He'd been forbidden the stress of using a typewriter, so he wrote the book out by hand. Unfortunately, he died of a second heart attack just 2 months before the book was published. The book was actually first released in 3 slim volumes, and this edition celebrates 60 years of the novel, bringing back the original iconic John Birmingham cover and interior artwork, alongside the wonderfully bonkers Potts family and their eccentric adventures. The original Nimona graphic story by N.D. Stevenson is about a chaotic shapeshifter sidekick and a villain with a vendetta, and has become a bit of a modern classic. This anniversary edition celebrates its 10th birthday with sprayed page edges, illustrated end papers, and bonus content. Excellent for older readers who love graphic novels and subversive fantasy. And finally, we've got a whole set of celebratory hardbacks to consider with the Puffin 85th Clothbound Anniversary editions. These are matching foil stamped editions of modern children's classics bound in vibrant Puffin publisher yellow cloth. Each book also includes a foreword from a contemporary Puffin author or illustrator. The lineup includes Charlotte's Web by E.B. White, Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney, The Extremely Embarrassing Life of Lottie Brooks by Katie Kirby, Matilda by Roald Dahl, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, first book The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, Pig Heart Boy by Mallory Blackman, The Story of Tracy Beaker by Jacqueline Wilson, and Wonder by R.J. Palacio. These books were published in addition to their usual Clothbound Classics series, but I'm going to include those other titles in a following video that looks at the best of the year's classics collections. So that's the stack for this video. There are some bonus titles in the accompanying article that didn't make it into filming this year, so check that out if you want even more inspiration. I'd love to know in the comments if any of these titles tempt you, or if there's another book you think should be included in the list. Thanks so much for watching. The next video in this series will be up soon, so please do subscribe if you want to be notified about it. Till next time, bye!